What is good, homies? It is your boy Fraunz, and we are back with another two-man Fridays. Kind of what we're going with this one. I thought I'd mix it up for you guys and, get out a couple two-mans instead of doing that full six-man prop play because it is champs time. There is a lot to predict. There's a lot of difficult matches to predict, and especially with these teams like Boston, Minnesota, and Seattle, especially those bottom three teams right now. Very, very hard to predict, just really exact lines. So we're going to try to avoid them as much as possible and just go for some cheeky two-mans here with some teams that are a little bit easier to predict. The better teams, you can kind of know what you're getting out of them because they do have a pretty solid system going and everyone's kind of playing their exact roles. So that's kind of what we're looking for here in some of these two-man prop plays. Gonna mix it up here instead of going for that full six-man. I think I'll drop about 3 or 4 two-mans in this video, and then when we're getting into the matches here in our Discord channel, I'm gonna try to throw some cheeky little two-mans, just going map by map with certain things. Is kind of gonna be the play for this losers final, or not losers final day, this losers bracket day. Champs is always a weird one, as well as many of these LAN tournaments. The lines seem to go up a bunch. I did notice that they are actually a little bit lower. I think PrizePicks did pull back a little bit. I know Hydra was up there at like 59.5 right before the match started yesterday, which was kind of insane. And DASHY was way up there. Shots, I mean, like, all these are a lot lower. Hook's down at 50 now, so like I think they definitely pulled back from yesterday's lines, which were actually kind of insane. Like, it was really, really insane. We lost a lot of .5s. If we go to my results here real quick, not our best day, but we'll still show it. We went 3 out of 6 on both of them. And we were just losing a lot of .5s. I mean, Hydra, we lost by .5, and we had the line at 57.5. Here with Kleenex, we also lost by .5. He got 55, so those are two really, really brutal .5s. And then down here, Priesta and easyyy, we both lost by a single .5. So just some really rough luck on those. I feel like the reads were on, just didn't really go our way. I guess PrizePicks really had some golden lines yesterday. So tough one for us, but we keep riding here. Gonna just go for these two-mans today is going to be the play, and we'll see what we can come up with. Jumping in here, I don't really want to take too much of your guys' time. I know a couple of the other videos have been pretty long, so we'll try to keep this one short and sweet for you guys. Not going to be going over many stats like I said in my past video, because the stats right now are, you just got to throw them out the window, man. It's LAN, it's champs time. It's like, what are stats going to do for you now? Like, it's just kind of your own feelers, kind of your own thought process, and I'll try to give my analysis as I'm walking through this here. Starting off, we're going to go Envoy on an over in map 1 to 3 kills. I do feel like this is a lock. He did hit like 63, 64 yesterday. The guy was popping off. This guy rises to the occasion on LAN. And with his counterpart in Kenny not picking up a lot of the SMG kills, it's mainly been Envoy. So that's why we're going to avoid the Kenny pick here and go for Envoy. I mean, you might want to look at a Kenny on an under. That has usually been hitting. We might actually take one of those in a later two-man, but for now we're going to stick with Envoy on the over, and I'm going to match that actually with an accuracy on the under. He had an absolute stinker against Atlanta FaZe, and I do expect Seattle just to bow out here, 0-2 in this tournament. I do think LA Thieves will move on, and that is the reason why we're going to take accuracy on an under in map 1 to 3 kills. This one is a little bit risky and probably going to be one of our only under plays. However, I just have no belief in the Seattle team anymore. They really haven't showed me anything like too impressive that they're gonna come out here and play amazing. They took a control against Atlanta, but other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing for the Atlanta guys. And I do expect how well LA has been playing, even though they did lose their last series, lost it in Game 5 against Toronto. They are playing well in some of those respective game modes. So we're going to take the Envoy over, accuracy under. I do expect it to be a close series, which is why I'm kind of worried on this one, but really I don't really know what else to take for the Seattle team. It's going to be one of our only picks on these bottom 3 teams, and it's going to go for Seattle. We'll just drop these. We'll just do $10 each on a bunch of these, see what we can come up with. Just grab some cash here. Next two-man, we are going to rock. I'm literally going to skip over this Boston Minnesota team. I don't want anything to do with it. We might do a bonus 2-man at the end with it, but for now, I don't want anything to do with Boston or Minnesota. Both of these teams, very hard to predict right now. I think, both, or yeah, when it was Minnesota versus New York, I missed all four of those props. Like, completely unpredictable. Minnesota came out swinging, which I did not expect at all. Then New York reverse sweeped. Anytime that happens, you usually aren't going to be hitting your bets because it's just weird stuff happens when you get a reverse sweep in there. So definitely gonna avoid Boston and Minnesota. I just feel like they're too unpredictable to bet on right now. So we're gonna drop down here to the Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto matchup, and the players that I'm looking at here is going to be Scrap on the Moore map 1 to 3 kills, and then we're also going to look at ideally a easyyy on a Moore. I might take Cell here as well. I just didn't want to blend the two ARs like this, so that's why I was looking at the submachine gun in a easyyy. I think this could definitely hit. These are the two star players, the all-star players for this team in a easyyy and in Scrap. So why not take them on the Moore here? Why not take the two of the best players in the game on the Moore right now? They both have been playing insane, and I do expect this Toronto Atlanta series to be an absolute battle. These guys should be firing back at each other like the entire series. If you get some hard points going down to the wire, that yields a ton of kills. We'll have a close S&D, and then hopefully we get a round 5 control, because if you get a round 5 control, that usually means that these props will definitely hit, because there's just going to be a lot of kills available on the map at that point. And both of these players are very aggressive players in their respective roles. That is why we take them here. That's why Scrap's line has always been super high, because he is one of the most aggressive ARs in the game, and he puts up some really good numbers. This is the line we're going to go at, 55.5s. I know they're risky. We're going to take it here at $10 again. Let's place that entry real quick. And then moving on down from that, guys, we're going to go to this OpTic and New York matchup. Let's see what we have here. Obviously, Hydra's line is the highest out of everyone's at 56.5, kind of insane. And then we also have Dashy's line at 50.5. I'm going to take Dashy's line this time at 50.5. It didn't hit yesterday. I was kind of upset about that. However, I do expect Dashy to have a lot better showing than he did yesterday. I know it was kind of the ghosty show yesterday, and I do think he still ended up hitting under. He just had a really solid map 1 and things like that. But I do expect Dashy to be the catalyst for this team, especially against a very good AR duo in New York. I hope he can beat up on those guys. And then hopefully we see, to pair that with, we're going to look at Kismet here on an under. I know this is a weird choice, and Kismet usually hits an over here. Maybe he doesn't. I'm actually not too sure on the stats on that one. The reason I'm going under for Kismet is he's just the dirty work sub for this team. The other one I have been looking at is obviously Hydra, or you could, yeah, Hydra or Kismet's a little bit too risky. I actually might avoid that one now. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit, I think we probably need to take Hydra here on an over, so that we pair an AR with a sub, both going over. I do expect this New York OpTic match to be as close as it has been in the past. These guys usually go head-to-head pretty well. And if we are getting, those really close hard points, a deep S&D run, and then, obviously, hopefully that round 5 in control, that means we're going to be yielding a ton of kills on the map. And obviously Hydra and Dashy, two of your best players, two of the all-stars, Hydra being on the first team and Dashy on the second all-star team. I do expect this one to go through as well. We're just going to hit a lot of Moors on the board for the close matches is kind of the thought process there, because there'll be a ton of kills on the map to get. And if we ride some Moors here, ideally they'll hit most likely on land. Moors are going to hit more often than unders will, so that's why we go for the overs here on a lot of these really good players on their respective teams. $10 here. Let's place that entry. Love to see it. And then for my final 10, guys, I guess we'll go to a Minnesota Boston matchup here. Have been thinking a little bit about Awakening here. He is the main AR Slayer for our team. Although I kind of wanted to ride a Snoopy play. If you guys notice, we're going all map 1 to 3 kills for these, because I do feel like that is the most beneficial to hit. Honestly, like if you try to ride a specific map, like if you try to ride a map 1, like I tried to do that in my prop yesterday with attach and it completely burned me. Riding map 1s or riding like a specific map is really hard to do, especially when you don't really know the map set yet. Obviously, this is filmed before the map set comes out, so we are not going to see any map set. However, I do like riding just these map 1 to 3 kills because you get a more of an opportunity to hit your bet, in my opinion. So we are gonna go with Snoopy here is gonna be the play. I've been taking a lot of ARs recently, so we're gonna look at a Snoopy play on the over in map 1 to 3 kills. Honestly, this series could end up going the distance because both of these teams are kind of in that 7, 8, 6, 7, 8 kind of range. And so they do go head to head very, very well, kind of similar to if like a 1 and 2 went up against each other, right? So that's kind of the reason why you might see an actual pretty close series as well down here, even though it is two lower echelon teams. They just become a little bit unpredictable. That's why I don't love betting on them all the time. So we're gonna pair this Snoopy one. We're gonna go with the rookie. I think I even said in my Discord that we shouldn't go with the rookie play, but he was looking really, really well, really, really good against OpTic. And if he comes out that same way against a lower tier team, I'm interested to see what he does. So we're gonna go Snoopy on the over at map 1 to 3 kills, and we're gonna pair that, guys, with a Cammy play on the over in map 1 to 3 kills. Both, nah, I don't want to go. Well, let's see. I guess we can't go. We can't go Cammy on more. I'm just gonna take the Moors. Gonna ride as many Moors as I can because this is champs. We're expecting the series to be very, very close, and if they are close, that means all the Moors are gonna be coming through like candy. It makes the Moors a lot easier when the matches are very close. You got to worry about the blowouts. When there is a blowout, that's when you're starting to see. A lot more unders go through because there's just not enough kills on the map not enough kills for everyone. So we're gonna go two players I think have been playing pretty solid in Cammy and Snoopy. Obviously Cammy being usually the main AR for this team. We're gonna take him on an over, but I am scared about this one, guys. I am very, very scared about this play. I'm thinking if I should do attach on an under because we haven't had another under yet. That was kind of my thought process. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. Either or, go attach on an under or Cammy on an over. Maybe even Cammy on an under. We'll see what hits. I'm just going to go with my gut here. Going to stick with my original prediction. $10, Snoopy and Cammy both on the more. 52.5 looks like a solid line for us, especially against two weaker teams. Maybe they go head-to-head pretty well here and put up some numbers. That's what we want to see. We want to see a lot of overs today. And that is the goal. Let's clear these off and go to the entries real quick so you guys can see them all. The bottom two here are Scrap and easyyy on the overs, and then Envoy on the over and Accuracy on the under. I chose Accuracy as our only under because he did have a really rough series against Atlanta, and I do expect him just to be that, backdoor AR, kind of just picking up hill time, running around the map, picking up positioning moments, but he doesn't really get a ton of kills on the map. So we're hoping that this one can go through. And if any series is going to be a blowout, I would expect this LAT Seattle one to be the blowout, which means obviously the Seattle team would get less kills. So we're going to take Accuracy on that under at 46.5, Envoy on the over at 53.5, and then moving on, we will take the two All-Stars, both on the All-Star team, Scrap and easyyy at 55.5. These are very high lines for these people. However, this is a matchup. Toronto-Atlanta is always a great matchup, and if these two players pop off, if they rise to the occasion here, as people say, I think this one should go the distance and definitely put a lot of kills on the maps for these two players. So Scrap, easyyy on the over. Dashy and Hydra, two other All-Stars, we're going to go on the over. I know Dashy didn't have a great series last time. I just hope he picks it up this time. I think that just tends to happen with certain players. Like if they have a slower day one, they come out swinging on day two. Or if they have a really good day one, they might are a little slower on day two. It's just kind of how it works sometimes in the COD community. Or sometimes they're just hot the whole weekend. Usually Hydra is one of those guys who's hot like the entire weekend. So definitely gonna look at Hydra here on the over and Dashy on the over, and then rounding it out, our Boston Minnesota pick is gonna be Snoopy on the over and Cammy on the over. I do expect both of these players to play well. Snoopy did play very, very well against OpTic, even though they ended up losing. He was picking up kills, very influential kills on the map. So I think he is a solid player. I haven't really seen a lot of his gameplay, but I was, pleasantly surprised with how he was playing. So good for Snoopy. Let's see if we can round some of these $30 in, and then obviously once we start seeing some map sets and once we really get into these maps later today, I will be pumping out a couple two-mans here and there, maybe just some like $5 two-mans, seeing what we can get back here if I see a certain map that I'm liking. SMG heavy map. If you look at like Fortress, Mercado, there's some SMG heavy maps, and then obviously, like if it's a hotel, you might want to look at the ARs or something like that. Himmelmat Expo usually just yields a ton of kills. There's just little things to look out for when you actually do end up seeing the map. So that is why we like to wait for the map set. But here are going to be the two-mans I ride before the map set. I hope you guys enjoyed these. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick video here for you. Just a little bit of analysis, just a little bit of my thought process here in these two-mans, and we wanted to mix it up, not give you guys the full six-man, because I know the six-man is pretty daunting, and I honestly didn't really want to rock a six-man today, especially with the losers matches going on. It's a lot of unpredictability for some of these prop bets, so that's why we wanted to go for the two-man prop plays and see what we can get back here. Obviously, it won't be as much money as a six-man prop play, so feel free to ride this in a six-man. If you do want to ride it in a six-man, I would avoid the Snoopy and Cammy play, and I would just ride these six plays, because these are the more predictable matches, being the better teams in the league. I feel like they just have their system down. They know what they're doing on the map, and when it comes to like Minnesota and Boston, I just don't think they always know what they're doing. It's just my 2 cents, just my opinion there. So that is why we're gonna rock a lot of plays on these better high caliber teams. Is kind of the thought process there. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I know it was a quick one, but I tried to go through it as fast as I could. Make sure to like if you're tailing, guys. I really appreciate all the support on the recent videos, and I've been loving talking about COD with you guys in the Discord. We're also streaming live on my Twitch channel at Fraunz3, so make sure to go check that out. We have been streaming the last couple of days, really getting back into the swing of things, building up that content as we love to do so. I really appreciate all the support on the videos, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.